All right, looks like we're live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So cool. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Episode, we're going to call this 155, I guess we'll call it. I got it out of the, I got to number it. Hey, Alicia, hello. Jeff is here. Good to see you, Jeff. Instagram's checking in nicely. Facebook, good to see you guys. Georgine, and YouTube rocking it. Yeah, Burr from Wheaton. It's not much warmer down here in Indianapolis. Denise over on Instagram, hello. Roxanne out of Newfoundland, hello. Good evening to you. Susan, see you checking in from California. Hello. Mandy, hello. Lori says, hey. Jan from Tinley Park, Illinois. Christine, hello. Nikki says, hello. Let's see who else. So Katie's checking in from Washington State. Amanda's hello. April from Georgia, very cool. Carrie, good evening to you. Sunny San Diego. Denise, hi, how are you? Haven't seen you in forever. Hello, Kathy. Northern California, Lisa's checking in. Cold Wisconsin says Diane. Lori says plan on staying awake tonight. Yeah, I have no agenda tonight, so I'm gonna open up Facebook in a little bit. I posted a post out there saying um, what he got, and that's kind of really the show tonight. So um, let's see, sunny flying to fly, flying to sunny, slightly warmer Florida in the morning. Woohoo! To run the dopey 48.6 miles. Wow, that's crazy, crazy. Robin Clark checking in from Tennessee. Crazy in a good way. Rebecca checking in from Colorado Springs. Diane, hello. I missed a couple here. Christy, hello. Been a while. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. And so, Karen, hello. How are you out of Long Island? Tammy says you're here. Therese, Countryside, Illinois. I got you, Deb. Very fun. So yeah, really kind of Trevor checking in from North Carolina. Very cool. Really, the only real plan tonight is I'm going to go to Facebook, read the questions from that post. That'll turn into the show. Dawn's checking in from Illinois. Tracy's here. Amanda's here. Alaska's here. Very cool. Samantha, hello. Stacy, hello. How are you? Let's see. Um, Boy, it's fun, but it's a little difficult to keep up here. So yeah, Karen, I got a card from Anne as well, which was you're right, super awesome. So let me see if I can find the post here. Close that. Close that. There it is. So open that a little bit. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna run through. I'll run through Rachel, hello. Yay, found you. Jennifer's checking in from Georgia. Hello, Georgia. How to get started on Weight Watchers again? Having a difficult time getting motivated. Well, I tell you, being here is half the battle. So that's a good sign. Hanging out with people who all get it. Jan, Illinois is in the house. Rebecca out of Oklahoma. Ellen checking in from Miami. Probably what is it? Probably 85 degrees today. Let's see. Vicky last night in the warm Arizona. Whew. Yeah, it's tough, 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 tough. We like the heat, right? So, anyway, so yeah, let's. Lee checking in from Arkansas. Very fun. So here's what I'm gonna do. I want to go through Facebook, and I'm gonna read that. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna publish this as its own episode as well. So it'll be 154. Let's see here. Let me turn the light down there. Yeah, it'll be 154. So that 155. Sorry, 155 is the dealio there. Susan's checking in. Boston says frigid. Let's see who else I got. So yeah, Ellen, almost 60 degrees. Yeah, I think you're right. And you caught me, 155 for sure. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I forgot. Oh, I do have my water. Look at that. Ding ding ding. I got water, so I'll put the headset up. We'll get this recorded as its own audio. I may put the video out on the app as well, but I want to just kind of run through what we got on Facebook, make this a Facebook show. Teresa's fat dagging it. That's right. Very, very fun. I don't know if you guys are Twitter people. Some of you are, some of you aren't. Um, so if you've been following me for any length of time, you know I'm random guy. I'll spend all my time in Connect, and then I'll get distracted, and I'll spend all my time in Twitter, and then I'll bounce to spend all my time on Facebook, and um, yeah, that's just how my brain works. So today was a Twitter day, so it was just one of those days where I just spent a lot of time on Twitter. But I asked the question of just tell me how awesome you're doing, and yeah, I'm fat dagging you, and a lot of people replied with some amazing, amazing numbers. So it's 2018. It's time to do it. It's that simple. And not in a simple way. It's not that it's easy, but it's so doable. And yeah, Marty, yeah, Snapchat's a new addition for me. If you go to fatdag.com, click on social media. All of my social media links are there to include Snapchat. I was playing around with Snapchat a little bit today, and we'll work on doing that. So Alicia says, do you know that you shouldn't drink more than 32 ounces of water in an hour because your body can't process more than that per hour? That makes perfect sense. These are, I think this is 16 ounces maybe. Is all that is. So yeah. So yeah. And you can actually drink too much water. It's such a thing. David, hello. Danielle is here. Angie out of North Carolina. Denise loves Snapchat. Yep, I'm playing with it. So I told you on Facebook, I'm gonna have my daughter's gonna, I told her grab my phone anytime you want and help me with some snaps. So if you see a lot of random snaps that are from her, that's the case. But obviously I'll be there, because it's my phone. If the account's on my phone. So anyway, yeah, fat dagging it. So you're either fat dagging it or are you fat dagging me? And it's kind of like, are you kidding me? Are you fat dagging me? I like it. I know, David. I was trying to figure out why it's so much. I had it. See, that's way too much there. Woo! I had it the other day turned down. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just too close. There we go. That's all it was. I'm sitting way too close, and when I sit too close, it burns. So Shannon says, I don't know how you guzzle that water right before show. I would be burping like crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Yep, it's good. So all right, let's get 155 recorded. You ready for that? Yeah, I think I was just too close. I think I put this thing too close to me today. Yeah. Again, I'm not a audio expert. I'm not a video expert. I'm just a dude trying to do a dude stuff. So cool. Let's do episode 155, and then we'll hang out after. I got no real plans. So what I'm kind of trying to figure out for 2018 is a better format. As you know, I want to bring you the show regularly. It's important to me. I built my journey off of just staying accountable. I built my journey off of every single day saying I need to be focused. And so when I built the show around my journey saying, I know that we need one meeting a week isn't enough for me. So I want to do the show every single day. That's my commitment to you, is that I do it every single day, except for the days that I don't. And as we start 2018, I mentioned this before on Facebook. I really want to get into a rhythm where you guys can start, you start understanding when the show is going to be. 10 o'clock seems to be the preferred time for the weekday. Tuesday night is my most difficult night because I had my Weight Watcher meeting tonight. So that was, so I don't even get home till close to 9. So that makes it difficult. On top of that, it's just that. Anyway, that's Tuesday night. But I think this format for Tuesday night may be the format. We just kind of hang out, and then we'll work on the rest. So let me get the computer fired up behind me. We'll tap into some water. We'll go through the Facebook thing, and we'll get it done. It's 2018, folks. Let's do this. Dun, 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 dun. Testing, 1, 2, testing, mic check, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Remember last night the audio didn't work, how fun that was? All right, cool. So we're recording behind us. That's good. A couple quick things before we get started. If you're not following along on Twitter, I'm telling you that's the way. Tammy, you can attest to this, right? Tammy's on in Facebook. Twitter is the way that I figured out to let you know when I'm going live. As soon as I make the decision that I'm going to do a show, I put it in the calendar on fatdag.com. The calendar auto tweets it from the WhysAdvice account. Then, so if I put it in the, if it, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I know I'm going to do a show tonight. At 2 o'clock, I put it in the calendar. Twitter sends it out at 2 o'clock saying, hey, Fat Dag will do a show, whatever the calendar is. Then the WhysAdvice account on Twitter, 15 minutes before the show, automatically tweets out saying, hey, the show's in 15 minutes. Then when I actually fire up the computer and go live, I actually send one last tweet saying it's live. So I don't use the WhysAdvice account for much more other than to let you know when I'm going live and to let you know what episodes are released. Outside of that, I use Fat Dag Twitter account to do a lot of my communication stuff. So my recommendation is follow along on Twitter, turn on the notifications for WhysAdvice, and then every time I make an alert in that account, you'll get a notification, a push notification that tells you either I'm going live or what's going on. So my commitment again to you is to not beat that up. I'm not using that account to push random crazy content. It really is just that we know when the show is and when the show isn't so that you can be here. It's amazing. It's great to see you all here tonight. Let's dive into the show. It's going to be a little bit different format. So let me get something going. I have to get an old episode here. So here we go. Oh, water. Man, you guys got to remind me. Boom. Cheers. Facebook gets the audio from the water. So if you're not following on Facebook, you don't get to hear this. That's so good. So Facebook people, can you, when that pops open, can you hear it pretty good? Does it sound refreshing? Does it sound as good as it is? Yeah, it's water. It's water. So, all right. Cheers. That was cold too, a little bit of a brain freeze. Whew. All right. Episode 155. Here it comes. Carrie, you heard it on Instagram. So Instagram, of all of the audio sources, Instagram is the furthest one away from me. So, Facebook has a microphone right here. This microphone is for the show. And then on YouTube, I have a whole separate microphone. Yeah, Jennifer, I get it. Sometimes if you guys are really listening, you can hear, and I'm hoping when I get the real audio team, that I can hear my belly rumbling sometimes in the podcast. If I listen to some old episodes, I can hear my stomach growl, and it's kind of embarrassing. But we're all friends and family, so who cares? I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 155. Got a very special show for you tonight. We're live on Facebook, live on Instagram, live on YouTube. It looks like we have a celebrity checking in on Instagram. Mud Hustler just checked in. Dude, shout out to you. How are you? Good to see you. Keep rocking it. Keep killing it. I saw you're going to be cooking live in Rhode Island coming up soon. So way to attack it. Way to get to the gym. But tonight's episode is really, it's just going to be a Q&A. We start the show off every night. I do it live on Facebook, live on Instagram, live on YouTube. It's important for me to find a way to continue to reach out to the community, to keep us all engaged, keep us all doing what it is we're doing. So tonight what I did, I put a post out on Facebook and I said, hey, what do you want the show to be? The show, ask me what you got. Let's talk about what's going on. Amanda writes in and says, hey, does it matter what time of day you eat? I'm working nights, and on the night that I work, my schedule is different than the off days. So, for instance, I get home at 7 a.m. and I eat and go to bed. Is that bad? Amanda, it is not bad, or it is. It's up to you to figure out what it is. So, what I can tell you is as you work this journey, it doesn't matter what time of day you eat. I know that you get to the point where, there's so many things out there, and what we have is a term called confirmation bias. If you want to go Google what time, should I not eat at night? You can Google it and you can find enough posts that will support either decision you want to make. What I can tell you is let your weight loss be your guide. There's nothing I can eat right now at 10:30 at night that's going to make me gain 91 pounds before I wake up in the morning. So I know that about my journey. I know that I'm going to be okay. There are nights I eat very late at night. There are days that I eat very early in the morning. It doesn't truly matter if you're following the plan. Now, if you get out of a routine and you get to the point where that late night snacking becomes a habit, it's not the time that you're eating. It's probably what you're eating at that point and why you're eating and the habits that are driving you to eat. In your case, you're coming off of shift. Your body's in a whole different mindset. Your body's in a whole different routine. Don't focus on the time. You're looking in the wrong direction. Focus on the quality of the food, getting 3 good meals a day, staying within your points. Stop eating points when you're out of points. That's how you get it done. Deb writes in and says, how is everyone committing to taking our journey to the next level? It's a great question. It's a question you need to ask yourself right now. What are you going to do differently? It's 2018. What are you going to do that maybe you haven't done before? And I can tell you what I've done. It's no secret. Freestyle and I aren't exactly best of friends. When the program was launched, it took me a second mentally to get on board. And so what I'm committing to is I'm committing to making changes in my routine that support the new program and continue to get all of those great results. So everyone, ask yourself, what is it that you're going to do differently? It's very easy for us to stay in the mode of complacency. You do well. We get in this plan. We start losing weight. We start tracking. Everything is going well, and then boom, the program changes, and we don't want to change with it. You get into that routine that is just, you're on autopilot. At some point, you can do a little better. And to take your autopilot off, turn it off, commit yourself to doing something different, kick it up a notch. If you've been working the program and all of a sudden you're feeling like you got the same 5 to 7 pounds that you're just kind of bouncing around with, I hear that very, very often. And people just say, I'm bouncing around this last 5 to 7 pounds. Commit to doing something slightly different. Go after it. Get it done. Karen writes in on Facebook and says, does anyone else still feel the need to track everything, even the 0-point foods? I don't seem to limit my portions of 0-point foods unless I'm tracking them. It would seem like such a simple concept, and I love incorporating more 0-point foods into my daily menus, but I still feel the need to measure those foods and track, or my mind goes into eat anything you want mode. Are there any tips? Well, Karen, yeah, sure. So obviously, one of the things that we understand, or Weight Watchers understands about this process, is that one of the things that people aren't exactly thrilled about is having to track all of their food. And so the freeing part of this, the freestyle part, gives you that freedom to not track 0 point foods if you don't want to track them. Like you, I need a little bit more of accountability, so I track it. And I track it so that I can kind of get a gauge, not so much to prevent me from overeating, but to give me ideas on days when I go back and look 3 or 4 days ago to say, hey, what did I have for lunch that day? Because, I had a good day that day. The scale's going in the right direction. So I look back so I can remember what I ate, not so much that I'm trying to stay accountable to it. So that's why I track. But you have the freedom, as we've always said, is if you like the results you're getting, keep doing what you're doing. But the beauty of the freestyle program is to give you a little flexibility. I know a lot of people feel that level of somewhat of embarrassment, I guess, which I understand it. I don't do it. But if you're at a restaurant, a lot of people don't want to pull out their phone and start tracking things. So you can order 0 point foods and not have to worry about tracking them, not having to worry was your chicken breast at your restaurant, was it 6 ounces, was it 6.5 ounces? So that's the beauty of freestyle. Candace says, I'm struggling with freestyle. The 0 point foods aren't my favorite, so I've been trying to shave a point here and there, but I can't seem to ever come in at under 23 points. I'm hungry no matter how many clementines I eat. I'm increasing my protein a bit, but it's harder than I want it to be. It's wearing me down. Yeah, Candace, let's talk about this. This is a very very common thought right now. So many people were doing so well with the program. We switched it up into freestyle because we recognize that the food industry is continuing to work their magic to tempt us. We have to keep up with the science and stay ahead of it so that we can continue to choose and help people get into a healthy rhythm of eating. So when you get to that point where all of a sudden now you're struggling on freestyle, a lot of it comes from many of us want to eat the same way that we've eaten our whole life, but we also want to lose weight instead. And quite frankly, it doesn't work that way. So what we want is we want to keep eating all the exact same way we did, maybe limit a little bit of the portions. We're willing to do that, but we're very not willing to make a complete change. And the reality is that change is what's needed. Because if we were eating all the right foods before in the right amount of moderation, we wouldn't be in the scenario that we're in. So, of course, you're going to struggle with freestyle in a sense where I don't want to call it struggling, I'm calling it learning because what you're now trying to do is you're now having to reinvent yourself from an eating perspective. It's one of my very first episodes. I talk about, I tracked ketchup and therefore it taught me how to eat salad. And the reality is when I was tracking ketchup, I started running out of points because ketchup at 2 and 3 points a day is what I was eating. All of a sudden, I didn't have room for dinner sometimes, and so therefore I would look at the 0 point foods. Back then it was salad. Now there's a whole list of 0 point foods, and all of a sudden they became I became interested in trying them. Now they're not foods that I would normally gravitate to. So now, when we offer them at 0 point options, you now have the option to go, okay, I'm willing to try it. And so, chances are, many of these 0 point foods for a lot of us are not foods that we like. If we like them, there's a good chance we wouldn't be in this place that we're at. So, you then have to go, okay, if this is what I need to do, keep increasing your protein exactly what you're doing. It's going to wear you down to an extent, but it's really what it's going to do. It's going to wear down the old you and build up a new you. And that new buildup is what you're really trying to accomplish. So it's good that it's wearing you down. Now take that same energy, refocus into building yourself up, be successful. If you want to change your life, you actually have to change your life. And that means if you were eating unhealthy for so long, we can't just limit a little bit of the unhealthy. We have to actually go for some healthy stuff and do it. That's scary for a guy like me. It's not something I wanted to hear. When the list of 0 point foods came out, I wasn't excited at all because it's not food that I like. I'm now having to slowly, and I'm telling you, it's real slow. I have to real slowly start making the adjustments. We did have the other night. I had my first 0 point dinner. It was incredible. I was like, okay, there's a chance I can do this. But you got to trust in the program. You've got to keep working it and getting it done. Kim from Facebook writes, since I always struggle when the program switches gears. Hello, Freestyle. I believe it's a mind thing for me mostly. I'm working on coming up with a resolution slash goal to help me get focused. Do you have any ideas? Kim, I think you're absolutely right. It's the same kind of concept that we just talked about. Is mentally, I was in a great battle rhythm. I woke up every day. I knew exactly what I was having for breakfast. Knew exactly what I was having for lunch. Knew pretty much what I was going to have for dinner. I was in such a great routine that I just knew I was going to be okay. Boom, boom, boom. Just kept rocking it. Freestyle came. It had me readjusting. Had me making some changes. So mentally, I checked out of the program before I even attempted to try it because I was so afraid of change. So when they first announced the program, my first reaction was to go, wait a minute, it's not what. So rather than switching over to freestyle, I stayed doing what I was doing. I stayed in my routine and kept rocking it. And then all of a sudden I realized, like, okay, now the app isn't going to support this new lifestyle. And obviously they're making the change for a decent reason. I've got to figure out what that reason is, embrace it, and go after it. So as far as resolution and goals to help you get focused is why not put in a list of, have, add one 0 point item to each dinner. That's an easy goal. And so it's an acquired taste. When I first started this, there was a lot of fruits that I didn't really care for. And when I forced myself to eat them because I was running out of points and those 0 point items were better than breaking the program, I incorporated them in. So imagine now if you say, okay, I'm going to have one 0 point, vegetable for dinner. And all of a sudden dinner comes on, you add that in. It doesn't cost you anything to try it. If it's something you're not necessarily liking, you just try it. And then maybe you develop an acquired taste for it and you start working the plan. So you have to understand the mindset for sure. The mindset will get you every single time. Trust that you can do this. Watch everyone who's having success on it. This is absolutely doable. We just have to wrap our brain around it. Jennifer writes and says, why aren't all the points the same? If I eat my dailies and they are good and healthy foods, I lose weight. If I eat the same number of points, if some of the food is a cookie or two, I don't. How does that work? Well, Jennifer, it's one of the reasons that there are so many 0 point items. There's a popular app out there called MyFitnessPal. A lot of people have a lot of success losing weight on MyFitnessPal. Now, the difference between MyFitnessPal and Weight Watchers, and where I think Weight Watchers is a sustainable program for me, is I was able to lose weight tracking with MyFitnessPal. I could put everything in. I could log it. It's kind of conceptually, it's very much the same. But the key difference is a 100-calorie apple is not at all the same as a 100-calorie cookie when it comes to your body and how your body processes that food. So if we're coming up at the end of a day, and I'm using MyFitnessPal, and I have 100 calories left for the day, and my choices are grab an apple or grab a cookie, I would never grab the apple. Because why? When the cookie tastes so darn good. But the reality is your body is going to process the cookie significantly different than it processes the apple. All of the sugar and all of the stuff that's in that processed food of a cookie, probably not necessarily great for you. So therefore, the beauty of the freestyle plan is that we give you that apple as 0 points. We give you vegetables as 0 points so that you can then, make a choice that's healthier and that supports your foundation for healthy eating. That's the difference. That's the key difference between the two. And then what happens is because we're now making the adjustment in the way you live and the way you eat, you make that adjustment and you're able to sustain it long term. If you stick with the MyFitnessPal program, Again, no disrespect to the program, but if you stick with that and you never really change your behavior, then you never really adapt your lifestyle into a healthier eating, or you may not, you probably could, but this foundation in Weight Watchers is much more sustainable long term, in my opinion. Lori asks, what do you tell someone who's just starting on their journey or someone who, like me, questions whether or not they will succeed? Lori, I can tell you, you've got to believe in yourself. You know, you don't have to believe you can. You don't have to believe long term. Let me kind of rephrase it. What I want you to do is I want you to set up some very small goals. Do you believe you can track your next meal? I believe you can. Do you believe that you can track breakfast in the morning? Okay, I believe you can do that. So, what I want you to do is set small goals along the way so that you can then slowly build that confidence. Now, if someone were to come up and say right now, hey, for the rest of your life, you're going to track everything you're going to do, you're going to lose weight, and you're going to track for forever, initially you're like, oh, that's overwhelming. I don't want you to do that. I want you to set such a small goal. It relates to my soda habit. 3 years ago, I gave up soda completely, but I was not willing to give it up for life. If you would have asked me when I started if I would give up soda for 3 years, I would say absolutely not. No way, no how would I give up soda for 3 years. It's impossible. So what I said was, how about I just see if I can do it for 30 days? What I was trying to do was to see if I had the mental stamina to do something like that for 30 days. So I did. I just simply, I woke up, I gave up soda completely. I went from 12 sodas a day to zero overnight. The next morning I got up, I had no soda. 30 days later, I realized I did it. And so then I had the choice, and I said, wait a minute, I just did it for 30 days. Why not try it for 30 more? At the 60-day mark is when I decided to try and take it a year. I took it to, I'm going to give up soda for an entire year with 100% intention to New Year's Eve the following year to celebrating that accomplishment with soda. That was my mindset. I wanted to try it for 30 days. That turned into 60. And I said, I'll do it for a year. I planned on New Year's Eve cracking a soda and celebrating that accomplishment. But when that time came, I was so used to not having it, I actually didn't even want it. That was 3 years ago. It's not even part of my life now, but I didn't believe I could do it. I wanted to just try and set small goals along the way to see if I could do it. Lori also asked, how do you get back on track after the holidays and a 3.4 pound gain? Thought you were doing pretty good this past 2 weeks. It's the same way. You know you can do it. If you've lost any amount of weight on this plan, you've proven you have the tools, you've proven you have the resources, you've proven you know how to do it. So don't let a gain at all ruin you. I said this in an interview I did the other day. I said, let's agree on a couple points real quick. So if you're listening right now, obviously you're listening, but if you're listening right now, agree to this. Do you believe that it's impossible to weigh the exact same amount to the 10th for the rest of your life? I believe that's the truth. There is no way that you can every single day hop on the scale, weigh the exact same number to the 10th for the rest of your life. It's absolutely impossible. Okay, so we agree on that. Now, let's agree that it's impossible for you to get back down to your birth weight. Would you agree with that? So if you agree you can't get to your birth weight, and you agree that it's impossible to weigh the exact same to the 10th for the rest of your life, then what has to happen? At some point, you're going to have to gain weight. It may be a tenth, it may be 3.4, but at some point, you're going to gain weight on this journey. It's impossible to not do that. So if you know that about the journey, then you just simply accept that as part of the process. And you don't give up, and you say, okay, today was a gain, which means, okay, now I can lose. I'll lose again, I'll lose again, I'll lose again. Oh, I gained. I'll lose again, I gained. I lose again, I lose again, I gained. I lose again. If you keep up that trend, you get down to a point where you like it. And I got to tell you, when you get to maintenance, maintaining your weight is nothing but gains and losses. That's what maintenance is. It's a data point in your journey. So every time you see a gain right now, know that that means you're working the plan perfectly because you've checked in to get the gain. It's what I said also in the interview. They asked me, it's like, why do you weigh yourself daily? And I said, I don't need, I weigh myself daily for accountability. When I do the show, it's an audio show. You can't visually see unless you're following along on the web. And so I need something to let you know that I'm still mentally checked in. And that for me is my own accountability in the scale. And I put that automatically on Twitter. It automatically goes to Facebook. It automatically goes to fatdag.com. Every single morning I hop on the scale, it auto tweets out. I do that for my own accountability. And so whether the number is up or down is irrelevant to me. Where you should get concerned and where you should reach out for me is if all of a sudden you see I've gone 3 or 4 days and I haven't hopped on the scale. That's the danger. Now, of course, if I'm traveling, that's a whole different scenario. But if I'm here and I'm ignoring the scale, that's where the issue is. Not the fact that there's a gain on the scale, because I can take a gain away because I have the confidence to know the program works. I have the confidence to know that I know how to work the program. I have the confidence to know that I have a wingman full of people who are working this program too who get it. Together we're getting it done. We're killing this thing, and we can do it. Georgine writes in on Facebook and says, since you don't have a full switch, I don't either, how do you eat until you're satisfied on freestyle? Well, one of the things, Georgine, that's interesting about freestyle is, generally speaking, the foods that are 0 points are not foods we overeat on. They didn't make pizza 0 points. They didn't make potato chips 0 points. They made foods that are healthier for you. That not too many people, when they go on a full-on binge, they're diving into a bag of apples. That's not generally how it happens. So you do have to be cognizant of your chickens and your turkeys and your shellfish, but not really. If you're overeating on the good healthy food and you're able to continue mentally stay in the game, and that's preventing you from overeating on something else, for the most part it's okay. You'll recognize, you'll start to recognize the feeling of being satisfied. I think we all can kind of look at a plate of food and figure out if it's a little or a lot. So if you're putting your plate of food and you think this is a ton of food and you're eating it all, and you're leaving there going, "Oh, I ate too much." It doesn't matter what it is. So I'm with you. I know I have the most willpower before I have the first bite. And generally speaking, if it's on my plate, I'm going to clean the plate and I'm going to eat it all. So I just take note when I do that and say, okay, next time try and get a smaller portion. But recognizing that satisfaction point, it is a little tough. And one of the hardest things on this program, and it's why I'm extremely thankful for the program, is I trusted the program. When I was losing the weight, I was tracking everything and I was stopping when I was out of points. Very often, I would be still hungry, but I would run out of points. And it took about 10 or 15 minutes after the meal for me to realize I was actually satisfied. And I got to learn that the amount of food that I need is significantly less than my brain needs. My stomach is okay. It's the brain that's asking for more food, not the stomach. And so what I had to do is I had to trust the process. I would have a normal sized chicken breast, whether it's 6 ounces or 8 ounces is irrelevant. But I think we all know that you can't have 4 chicken breasts for dinner. So I would take just a normal sized chicken breast, eat that, and then push away. And then allow myself 10 or 15 minutes and then go, oh, okay, I'm actually content. And if for some reason I'm not, then top it off with an apple or a glass of water or something along that line to continue to get it done. But not having that full switch, it's a question that we're all going to have to kind of answer. Because you have to eat until you're content, and that means something different for everyone. The good news is you can do it. It doesn't take long. You look on Connect, you find people left and right who are doing this. I tell you, as I started this journey, I didn't believe it was possible. I got on Connect and I started scrolling through. I found some amazing people who were getting it done. And when I watched them and I looked at what they were doing in their life, I said, oh my goodness, these people are doing this. This person lost X amount of pounds. Incredible. Oh, and they're working full time. Oh, or they're juggling this. And I said, okay, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And so I just kept doing it. And so once I hit goal, all I've ever wanted to do is let everybody else know that you can hit goal. It's doable. So we just are working together as a community to just prove to each other it's doable. Nothing more. And that belief is what carries you to goal. This whole process, everything you're trying to do happens above your ears. That's right. This journey is so mental. You have to be mentally focused. It's why I do this show every night. It's why I want you to stay checked in. It's why I say I do not wish you good luck. I wish you good focus, because it's that focus. It's every meal sitting down saying, do I want this or do I want to make goal? Does this food that I'm getting ready to eat, does it align with my goals? Does it help me reach my goals, or does it push me further away from my goals? And do I care? There will be a time when you ask yourself if this aligns with my goal or conflicts with my goal. Sometimes it may conflict with your goal short term, but if you pick right back up and you get right back at it long term, you can have success. There are so many people who've had success in this program that weren't perfect at it, who maybe overate on chicken, who maybe were afraid to try, a 0 point item, but they got to goal. Man, and there's nothing like getting to goal. There is no feeling in the world compared to being overweight your entire life, to be called obese, to be labeled, to be shamed, to be ridiculed, and to give it all away. And to take charge of your life and to say, you know what, that's gone. I'm no longer overweight. I no longer want to lose any more weight. Giving that away for life is the most amazing thing in the world. And all I want to do is prove to you, tell you, demonstrate to you that you can do it. I asked a question on Twitter today. I said, what are you most proud of? What have you done? Show me what you're doing. And the amount of tweets that came back of people who lost 100 pounds, 60 pounds, 50 pounds, just real quickly, numbers that were amazing from just regular people getting it done. People who can do this. And I got to tell you, you saw the announcement, of all kinds of people joining the program, and just getting it done. It doesn't matter what you got going on in your life, you can do it. It's 2018. Is 2018 the year you're going to do it? I saw one of the most amazing tweets, and it said, I started 2018 not with no regrets. Knowing that I did everything I could in 2017 to get to where I am today is an incredible feeling. And you start 2018 off strong. And you finish 2018 off strong, and you finish your life strong, and you absolutely get it done. That's what we celebrate. And when we celebrate as a community. When we celebrate, we reach back. We find other people who are on this journey with us. We reach back and we say, you can do this. And how do I know you can do it? Because I didn't believe I could do it, but I didn't give up. I had some gains. I had some losses. I had some gains. I had some losses, but I was committed to doing this. I asked myself every meal, does this align with my goal? Does it not align with my goal? And I pushed forward and got it done. You can do this. You set a New Year's resolution. It's January. You're ready to do this. Are you going to give up? Is 2018 the year you're going to get done? It absolutely is and can be. And we celebrate together and just absolutely blow it out of the air. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on Wise Advice Podcast, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in your celebrations, your questions, because I really, really want you to be proud of what you're doing. You hear so often on this show so many amazing people who are doing it. It's doable. That's all you need to know, is that it's doable. Do you want your piece of it? Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. Whoop whoop. Cool, cool, cool. Unbox Warehouse is checking in on YouTube. Hello, Unbox Warehouse. Episode 154 155 in the books. Thanks for wrapping it up, Ann. Always got this. Yeah, it's the P. So I got a post that's going on in my head that I'm trying to figure out how I want to word it. Um, but man, this thing is doable. I'm not. I've never once said it was easy. I kind of have, but not really. What I mean was, I understand it's hard work, but it's not impossible. There's so many things that you've done in your amazing life that were probably impossible. You can do this because it's the mindset of knowing you don't have to be perfect. You can just do it. So, yeah, Ellen, good focus is a key for 155 for right. Denise says good night. Very fun. Ha! Dan says, sometimes I swear you're a mind reader. You always seem to say exactly what I need to hear. Dan, I am a mind reader, and you're absolutely welcome. And so, yeah, I'll send you my address, and you can send me a gift. Is that what you were thinking, Dan? Joking. Too funny, Dan. Yeah, you know why that's true, Dan? Because we've talked about this. The journey is the same for all of us. It really is. It's mental. It doesn't matter if you're 10 pounds overweight or 100 pounds overweight. You feel the same. You don't like it. So, and on top of that, Dan, is you hear what I say, and then your brain translates it to what you already know, and you piece the two together, and you're forming your own story. You're forming your own answer. So that's why it works. And I bet you if you go back and listen to some previous episodes, you'll find things that you didn't hear the first time that you're in a different place than you're ready to hear now. And you'll hear it differently, I promise you. Manuel says good night. Stacy says, I believe. I like it. There's always a way. Alicia agrees. Always a way. Tammy says, love Q&A. Tammy, I saw you ask me on Twitter, on Twitter, on Twitter, you had a question. I didn't see it pop up somewhere. So shoot it here and we'll get to it if it's still there. Ellen, you're right. The sacrifice is absolutely worth all of the joy. Randy, thank you for that. Randy says, great show. Mary, I'm very concerned about my being able to limit my intake of beans, yogurt, etc. I understand. And so I don't have an answer for you. And I apologize for not having the answer, but it's going to be one of those things you're going to have to experiment. And so I don't know your scenario. I don't know your situation, but I can confidently say, 6 tubs of yogurt a day, even if it's 0 point, I think we all agree that's probably excessive. Now, is 4 the right answer? Is 3 the right answer? I don't know. So you're going to have to then experiment. And so if you're eating, 3 or 4 things of yogurt a day and you're not liking the results on your scale, then that's an area for you to trim back. And then you figure out, is 4 servings of beans too many? For you, it may be. For someone else, it may not be. It depends on what else you've got going on. So that's where, in your scenario, tracking them portion size may be helpful. And if you're not happy with your results, then you modify the portion size of that. But you don't have to worry about it too much. But that's kind of the concept. Yeah, Lori says, I'm guilty of comparing my journey to others. Sometimes I wish my success was that of others. No, it doesn't work that way, Lori. It really doesn't. And I think, how do I want to word this? I understand where you're at. You see people who lose 4 or 5 pounds consistently every week, and but you have to understand that it's impossible for two people to have the exact same weight loss. Their metabolism is different, their height and weight is different, the food they're eating is different, their movements are different. So it's impossible to have the same results as somebody else. So so you just have to understand that if you're doing everything properly in your journey, then you're a rock star. Compare yourself to a former version of you. That's the comparison. What would you have done last year? What would you have done a year or two ago? What would you have done 3 years ago? Compare yourself to that person. Be a better version of you. And that's an amazing accomplishment, an amazing success for sure. Um, so Twitter, Carrie says treadmill's done. I bid you, what is it? Adieu. Carrie, which means Carrie is out. Um, Tammy says, glad I caught the last part. You've been waiting since 6 your time. Woo! So yeah, so just to reiterate, Twitter is the best place. Twitter, follow WhysAdvice on Twitter. You'll get an alert every time I create an event, and then you'll get a 15-minute reminder, and then you'll get a now reminder from Twitter. And so follow. If you're new to Twitter, great. Welcome to Twitter. It's very easy to set an account. If you made an account on Connect, you can make an account on Twitter. So build an account, turn on notifications for the WhysAdvice account, and then you'll get a notification. And like I said, I don't use the WhysAdvice account for much else other than letting you know a new show has been published and letting you know what the calendar is going on. If you're interested in playing around on Twitter, then we can chat back with the Fat Dag account, but not WhysAdvice. So yeah. So anyway, so glad you caught it live too. Alicia says everything is figure outable. I like it. Denise, so you hit goal the last day of the year. Now you need tips for maintenance. So here's okay. Ready? Very, very, very key for how to navigate maintenance. This is my number one piece of advice. You have to listen closely. Maintenance. You have to do what you did to lose weight. Eat the same foods. Track them. The only difference is you get a little bit more. You get a couple more points. You get up to 6 points extra. Do that. If you want to put your app away, it's not going to work. If you want to quit going to meetings, not going to work. Whatever you did to lose weight, you have to do to maintain your weight. If you lost your weight by getting 15,000 steps a day, I got news for you. You're going to have to get 15,000 steps a day for the rest of your life to maintain your weight. So keep doing what you did to lose the weight, and you can maintain the weight. But the biggest piece of advice I give you is know that if you made it to lifetime, made it to goal, and you're in maintenance, no matter what happens, you've proven you can do it. So if for some reason you get distracted, you get derailed, know that anytime you restart, you are 100% capable of getting back to where you were. That's the difference between someone who's made it and not made it. Is everyone who hasn't yet made it has to rely on the belief of others that it can be done. If you've hit it, you can rely internally on your own belief and proof that you physically know how to do it and you can do it for yourself. It's not much different, but it's a little bit different. So just keep doing what you're doing. Ellen said, my head is key to the success. Yeah, I agree. Amy says, how to help get back on track? What kind of motivation you need to get back on track? Amy, it goes back to your why. Why did you join? Here we are, January 2nd. You're checked in on Facebook. You're listening to a podcast about weight loss. There's a million other things you could be doing tonight. You're here because something drove you to want to make a difference, and you're looking for any sort of resources you can to make a difference. And so, so your fact that you're here listening means you're motivated. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. There's so many other places you could be right now. But you're here because you want to do this. So you're on track. It's that simple. If you're checked in here, it's kind of like I said with my daily weighing. If I check in on the scale every morning, I'm on track. I may not be really good about it, but at least I'm on track. And as long as I'm tracking every day, you'll get it done. And you kind of just stick with it, and figure out, always ask yourself, does this align with my goal or does this not align with my goal? Will this help me reach goal or does this hinder me reaching goal? So, Mary says you tried online help today, but they didn't say much. Every time I've reached out, they've been great. So I don't have my suspicion, Mary, is that here we are, January 2nd. It's probably a lot, So that's when you reach out to connect. That's where you reach out to. If you're not in the Wise Wingman Facebook group, jump in there because that's a good resource as well. But there's all kinds of places to go to get support. Let's see. Myra says your answer to my tweet today made my day. How fun was that? That was kind of fun. I think we're gonna. I think on Twitter I'll play around every once in a while and ask kind of questions like that. It was just kind of fun retweeting all of those amazing weight loss stories. So yeah, kind of fun. Very neat. That's the one thing as I move forward with this is social media. Uh, It's just going to be me. I don't really want to hand that off to somebody. I don't need an account with 18 million followers if I'm not talking to you. I'd rather have an account with 10 followers and I'm able to talk to you. So, it's one of those, I got to figure that piece out because I'm looking for engagement and convincing you can do it. That's the only thing I've got interest in this journey. So, Pam says, to thine own self be true, down 50 pounds, 45 to goal in 2018. You can do this. That's a question. So I love how you said, I can do this. So I've asked this in a previous episode, and I want you to answer this question. Get ready. Get your fingers ready. Get your fingers on the keyboard and answer this question right now. Ready? And the first thing that comes to your mind, do you believe you can do this? If you haven't already typed yes, then we have to work on that. I know you can. I need you to know that you can as well. So if you believe you can do it, your body will work to make it true. If you believe you can't do it, your body will work to make that true. Without hesitation, you have to say, I can do this. Do you believe you can do this? Absolutely. Do you believe you can do this? Yes. If you hesitate, then what I want you to do is set a smaller goal until you start believing it. Do you believe you can track the next thing you eat? Yes. Okay. Do you believe you can track the next 2 things you eat? Yes. Okay. Do you believe you can track for a day? Yes. Do you believe you can hit goal? Yes. See how easy that is? If you believe you can do it, you will work hard to prove yourself right. If you're going to prove yourself right either way, wouldn't you rather make goal with that? Let's see. Scrolling through. Tammy says, I'm fat dagging my daughter. Gave her an attendance goal of exercise 10 minutes every day. Got to get her into this. Yep. And 10 minutes may be a lot too, Tammy, so sometimes an attendance goal can just be checking in. So Ellen says, act as if, a famous saying to get what you want to get to goal. So act as if you're doing it. I agree, for sure. Scrolling through. Scrolling through. Dan, good night. Tammy is a rock star. Liz asked me, at what point did you decide I didn't want to lose any more weight? I am below goal, but not sure where my sweet spot is. So Liz, that's an interesting question. You're just going to kind of know, and so, at one point I think I actually got down to be too skinny, and now I'm up a little bit from there, and I'm way happier, and I like the way I look now, better. I need to put that post back out on Instagram or on Connect. I have a picture of me at 170 something and then 185, 11-pound difference. So 174 and 185. So at 174 versus 185, I look way better at 185. So, but and so, but what was critical is I got down to that point where I knew what that felt like, and then I just kept working the program, and my body readjusted and recalibrated. So it's good. We lost Instagram, so sorry to Instagram folks. I didn't give you the warning that we were losing you, but an hour has gone by. So, let's see. Christine, you're welcome. Scrolling through. Look at the Ollie. You guys are now in. Okay, I'm now at your point where you're yes, 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 absolutely, hell yes, 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 yes. I love it. Yep, yep, yes, 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 yes. Woo! So Mary says, okay, sorry to be so negative tonight. Here is why I'm freaking out. Had a salad today, added 2 eggs, half a cup of beans, half a cup of corn. That would have been 10 points in the old system. Contacted online support and they said it was fine. Doesn't feel fine. I think it's fine. Um, you know exactly what you ate. So you're accountable to it. The thing we're trying to do, Mary, is we're trying to get you to change um, the foundation, trying to change all the things that you're eating. If you're eating, had a salad with eggs and beans and half a cup of corn, that's all healthy, good food for you. It doesn't, you can't go back and say it would have been 10 points on the old system. The old system is gone. We're on, if you're going to work the old one, which I don't recommend, then go work the old one. Don't blend them. You're overthinking this. People way smarter than us spent whatever, weeks, months, however, researching this and doing it. Trust that. So a lot of times when people develop this program, we want to go now redevelop it on top of them. Trust them to do it. I'm with you. When they first did it, I wasn't that guy, but I trust them. I'm not happy with it. It wasn't the change I would have made. It didn't fit into my lifestyle, but I trust them. And so you had a salad, you had 2 eggs, you had half a cup of beans, half a cup of corn. Perfect. Track it. Don't track it because a lot of it's 0 points. Move on. Go to your next meal. Move on. Go to your next meal. Move on. Weekly, when you weigh in, if you like the number you're getting, keep doing that. If you don't like the number you're getting, then at that point say, okay, maybe I have a salad with 1 egg and a quarter cup of beans and a quarter cup of corn. Excuse me. And you work it that way. So continue to adjust. You can do this. You're not overeating. You're doing exactly what you need to do. Lori, that's the whole reason for this show. Lori says, just need someone else to believe in you. That's the whole reason for this show, is I do believe in you, without a doubt. Tammy says, yes, I'm a rock star. Woohoo! Carrie, woohoo! Good to see you, Carrie. Yeah, Manuel, exactly. Manuel says, Mary, you started with, I had a salad, and you measured that stuff out. You did great. Yeah, overthinking it. I agree. Pamela, yeah, comparison is the thief of joy. Very cool. So, cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for being here. We're 63 minutes and change. It's a great night. And honored to walk this journey with you. You can do this. Totally doable. People left and right are proving that it's possible. I want you to be one of them. The country, the world is counting on us to be successful. There are so many people right now that aren't where we are in this journey. There are so many people that haven't even thought about joining yet, but they're miserable because they don't know where to turn. When they join, what they need to see is you are successful. I mean, let's be frank for a minute. That's the reason you're here, is because I figured this out. I had some success, and you want to have that same level of success. If I was completely a failure on this program, you wouldn't be tuned in. right? You know, if I started all of a sudden now starting about auto mechanics, you would turn this thing off because I don't know anything about repairing cars. So the reason you're listening is because I found some success. I'm telling you it's possible, and you want a piece of that. I want you to get there so that somebody looks at you and says, "Oh my God, Kim did it. I can do this." And they start following you, and you start being an inspiration for them. I tell you, I got an email or a Facebook message today on that of someone saying just that someone came to them and said, wow, you're an inspiration, and because of you, I want to keep going. That's a great feeling. You can do this. You absolutely can do this. And the last thing I want to say right here is we will all get to goal, and why not? We can do this. There's no doubt. Yep, that's what Ellen is saying. Um, yeah, so very, very fun. All right. Thank you. As always, have a good night. We will see you more than likely tomorrow night. Twitter. Twitter is where you will know when the next show is. As always, this has nothing to do with luck. Nothing. Set your sights on your goal. Go after it. I wish you good focus. Good night.